One absolutely crazy chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen. We have Yuta back in the fold. He actually beheaded Kenjaku and he just appeared out of nowhere, and it was just such a beautiful double-page spread where he swoops in, he actually blitzes Kenjaku, dodges the anti-gravity and chops his head off, clean off. And we even see Kenjaku did survive, but it's incredible to see Yuta look down on him while he's cut his head off. And of course, the ending of Takaba versus Kenjaku has finally come, and we see Takaba's true plan revealed, as Takaba is a lot more crafty than we gave him credit for. Man, there's definitely a lot to talk about this chapter, and I'm very excited, so I hope you are too, especially if you're a Yuta fan. This is definitely one you're gonna want to watch all the way until the end. So hey, be sure to leave a like, it helps out a ton, and of course subscribe for a ton of consistent and quality JJK content just like this, a ton of crazy theory videos, spoiler videos on chapters like this one, analysis, power scaling, because less than 10% of people who actually watch my channel are subscribed, so trust me, if you love JJK, you will not regret subscribing. And of course, thank you to the special members of the channel, it is much appreciated. Alright, let us get into this video, and the first thing I gotta say is I told everyone, so I've been tweeting this for over a month. It's pretty much every week I keep saying don't switch up on Yuta, he's the GOAT, don't switch up, which I know is probably confusing a lot of you who don't follow me on Twitter right now. And if you're someone who only watches the channel, which is fair, you're probably confused saying, TAKABA'S, don't you hate Yuta? Isn't the whole meme that you think he's a fraud? I actually had an epiphany recently and I reformed. I converted, it was over a month ago, where I said I'm done of Yuta slander, I am now a Yuta Glazer, and I've actually had Yuta Glazer in my Twitter name for over a month too. And even a full month ago when everyone was making those jokes about Yuta going to Africa and Yuta, he's too scared of Kenjaku, he's too scared of Sukuna, I specifically tweeted out, don't switch up when Yuta's come back, and I told everyone Yuta has something special planned, and I was completely right about that. And listen, maybe there are allegations that I'm only doing this to curse Yuta because there's this curse that I give characters that I like and all the characters that I like die. All I want to say is that those are nothing but allegations and slander against the good TAKABA'S name. I would never dare diss Yuta, I would never dare curse him, that was never my intention. Of course I love Yuta. I was once a die-hard hater, but I am now, and I have been for over a month, a die-hard glazer. So if you see anyone saying, oh, TAKABA'S secretly hates Yuta or he's secretly trying to curse him, don't listen to them. They don't know what they're talking about. I mean, it could be true, it's a nice theory people have, and I'm not outright denying it, but all I'll say is that I've never said it either, and it's just allegations. It is slander against the good name of TAKABA'S, against this good channel's reputation, because this channel has a great reputation, it is loved by everyone in the community, and it has no haters. Of course, right? Surely. Okay, but jokes aside, if you do want to make fun of me for hating on Yuta, you can do it. I get that even though I've reformed for the past month, and I've been tweeting nothing but Yuta hype and gas for the past month, saying how goated he is, how he's never lost, and I just keep praising him again and again. For some people, that's not enough, especially since I've been slandering him for over 1 year, so I can get if you want to try to attack me. I get it. But anyway, moving on to the actual chapter. And don't worry, I didn't forget the promise I made. I did promise that if Yuta beat Kenjaku and I specifically said and I put it in caps, he lives EOS, I will make a handwritten apology to all user fans. So don't worry, I haven't forgotten about it. I've been tweeted. As soon as the chapter ended, within the first 10 minutes, I got 5 people sending me that tweet. I will do it. We just have to see A, if Yuta actually wins since the fight isn't over, and B, if he actually lives EOS, because maybe Sukuna could kill him, which I do doubt though. So let's just wait for that apology first. The conditions haven't actually fully been met yet. But to actually get into the whole chapter, it was nothing short of phenomenal. So I loved all the gags of Kenjaku, I loved the comedy bits, and Miyamura didn't actually fully translate the chapter, so obviously a lot of people weren't too interested in that, especially not Miyamura, but especially because the leaks actually came out earlier than normal, so Miyamura wanted to get to that soon, which does make sense. And of course, chapters with a lot of dialogue just aren't really suited for leaks. Those are the chapters where you really want to have, you know, a professional translator spend a lot of time working on it, and it's going to take at least a full day for someone to fully work through and to make proper translations for it. Leaks are usually best for chapters which are really hype, for fight chapters, and especially for the ending of this chapter, where it's just a hype moment where it doesn't really matter if you can understand or not, you just see what's going on and it's crazy. And shout out Miyamura, by the way. So I really won't touch on Takaba vs Kenjaku that much. All I'll say is, again, it was a phenomenal fight, especially this ending. I can't really talk that much about this chapter since there was a lot of text that wasn't translated from Miyamura, like many pages which we don't even know what was said. I actually have to wait until the scans and the officials to see what was going on and see how I actually feel about the ending, so I have no comment about it yet, but just from the looks of it, it does look good. Now let's actually talk about Yuta swooping in. So the reason Kenjaku couldn't detect Yuta because he had all of his curse spirits everywhere monitoring curse energy and seeing if Yuta would move, and he said it would especially be notable if Yuta moved because he has so much cursed energy. The reason he didn't notice Yuta is because Takaba actually distracted him with reality manipulation, because obviously it's reality manipulation, so it just affected Kenjaku in that way, and they were in different environments and settings. So Yuta could actually get the sneak on him, and of course we we do have to remember Kenjaku actually did accumulate a lot of damage, so it's not like this was a fresh Kenjaku. He did take a lot of damage from Takaba, and Takaba specifically at the end completely distracted him, and Kenjaku was off guard entirely, so that's why Yuta was able to get the sneak on him. Even with this, Kenjaku still reacts, and he does actually try to hit Yuta with the anti-gravity, but Yuta dodges it. He swoops right behind him and beheads it, which was a beautiful double page spread, and every page after that was just phenomenal. It was so amazing. And then of course we have Yuta and Kenjaku talking to each other, and Kenjaku is upset. So even though his head is decapitated, he's still alive. Now of course, if you were a long-time viewer of this channel, you know that for a year now I've actually been tweeting this theory that I have that Kenjaku will actually take Yuta's body, and I specifically dedicated an entire video for this 5 months ago, where the video is specifically titled Kenjaku will take Yuta's body, and it seems like that insane theory where everyone called me crazy, everyone said I'm insane, it looks like it might become true now, because like I was saying during the live stream, this was one of my initial reactions. I actually believe that Kenjaku's brain is going to cast domain expansion. It would be similar to how Mahito casted domain expansion in his mouth, or Dagon did it in his stomach. Maybe Kenjaku's little brain has 2 little hands and he can do it that way, and he would cast domain expansion and he would either take Yuta's body or he would take Takaba's body. It would be one of the two, because Kenjaku specifically actually does say at the end of this chapter, his will and desires will be inherited. And now this could either mean Yuji, because obviously Yuji's still around, so maybe Yuji's his contingency, or it could mean he's about to snatch someone's body. Again, I think it's going to be Yuta, and a lot of people saying, no, it can't be Yuta. The reason it can't be Yuta is specifically because if he actually takes Yuta's body, wouldn't he lose Curse Spirit Manipulation, which is important because he needs Curse Spirit Manipulation to have Tengen, and he needs Tengen to actually do the merger. Well, no, he would keep Curse Spirit Manipulation. We've seen that he keeps previous bodies' techniques. He hasn't been in Karitidori's body for so many years, like we don't even know if Karitidori is the most recent body he's had. He could have had a body after Kairi, then he could have had Geto's. But the point being is that Karitidori is at least his previous body or multiple bodies before that, and he kept her technique. So even if he takes Yuta's body in the same way that he kept Kairi's technique, he would keep Geto's curse technique, Curse Spirit Manipulation, and he'd actually still have Tengen under his manipulation. And if anything, because he's actually taken Yuta's body, he would also have Rika to act as a storage for all of the curse techniques that Kenjaku's actually stockpiled. So maybe he wouldn't even need to trade off gravity, because you can't actually have too many curse techniques in your brain in order to fry it, so that's why he can't stockpile all the curse techniques he's had in history. But it's actually possible that if he takes Yuta's body, he could immediately put the anti-gravity right into Rika and have her store it rather than just losing it. So he'd keep that, he'd keep Yuta's copy, and he would have Curse Spirit Manipulation, and he would just be an absolute boost. I mean, he's taken the body of one of the greatest prodigies in all of JJK, the second strongest character, second only to Gojo, or I guess now only second to Sukuna, right? And again, I really want this to be true specifically because it's my long-time theory, and I would just be super gassed if it did happen. It could always be Takaba as well, because Takaba's curse technique is so unbelievably broken. I mean, you see everyone saying all the time how stupidly powerful it would be, and maybe too OP it would be if Kenjaku actually had that curse technique, because Kenjaku's quite a comedian himself, and if Kenjaku could manipulate reality like that, who can beat him? Truly, who beats that guy? Because sure, he would lose his anti-gravity if he did take Takaba's body, but he would still keep Curse Spirit Manipulation, because that it would be the most recent curse technique that would be engraved on his body. And it'd be very weird to see Takaba as a villain. It's very hard to picture it, but that's why I actually prefer Yuta. I feel like Yuta is very cold, he's very cool, he has such a very amazing design, and he can be menacing and scary at times. We've seen that before so many times. If Kenjaku was to actually take his body, that would be nothing short of phenomenal. And if Kenjaku actually does take Takaba's body, that would actually mean we get to see Kenjaku versus Yuta round 2, because as cool as it was that Yuta sweeps him from behind, sneaks him, and just takes his head off, I do think most of us would like to see a full fight between the two. I mean, I can't even imagine how many chapters it would be and how epic it would be. Seeing Kenjaku with reality manipulation, seeing Kenjaku make some old jokes, and seeing how Yuta would actually deal with that. And of course, Curse Spirit Manipulation would be involved as well, but it's just more so the fact that I want to see Yuta have his big fight, because even if Yuta actually just get his body snatched right now, like in the very next chapter, it would be cool, it would be very great, but it would suck that that would mean that we never actually get to see Yuta have a big fight ever again. Then it would mean that Yuta's last moments were, oh, he takes Kenjaku's head off, and that's pretty much it. Then he gets his body taken, and he pretty much dies. Whereas if Kenjaku actually takes Takaba's body, then again, a full battle commences, and it could even be 5-10 chapters long. And it's actually possible that if he takes Takaba's body and he actually beats Yuta by the end of that he would switch from Takaba's body to Yuta's body. So that's also a possibility where it doesn't actually have to be either Takaba or Yuta, it could be both. Where he decides Takaba is actually a perfect counter for Yuta, because all you need to beat Yuta is to just stall him out for those 5 minutes. It's just survive those 5 minutes, and if you do that, well then Yuta's just beat. You can just kill him in base. And of course, Takaba's curse technique is perfect for that. It's the ultimate stalling curse technique. It really does counter Yuta hard, because for those 5 minutes, you can just goof around, do whatever you want, and throw all these scenarios at Yuta. And of course, we might actually get a reveal for Yuta's domain expansion. So finally, I just want to see, I don't care if Yuta loses, because he's supposed to lose to Kenjaku's domain, because even if Kenjaku's domain isn't more refined, it's already confirmed that Kenjaku would beat anyone other than Gojo and Sukuna in a domain clash, even if his domain was closed. Because that's what Tengen had actually concluded, because Tengen themselves had actually said Kenjaku is the second best barrier user in the entire world, second only to Tengen themselves. And that's why they can't lose a domain clash, of course, other than Sukuna and Gojo. And when you add on top of that his domain is so refined and great that he also has an open domain barrier, so he could probably crack Yuta's domain from the outer shell. Maybe not, because it's not exactly like Sukuna's, but it's just one possibility that I did want to discuss. And I also really want to talk about Yuji as well, how Yuji could actually be a contingency for Kenjaku, and how Yuji really could be the key for Kenjaku coming back, because he does specifically say the words, "My will/desire will be inherited." Now again, I kind of interpret that to mean that he's going to take someone's body, but you can actually interpret that to mean Yuji, like I said in the beginning of the video, and like someone actually told me in the chat, so shout out you. Whoever told me that in the chat, I think your name was SMKI, I think. And this could finally explain what Yuji's purpose is. Now, he did say to Choso that Yuji's purpose is only to be a vessel, and that's already fulfilled by Sukuna, but considering the fact that Yuji is no longer in Sukuna's body, and his purpose for a vessel is currently, you know, not occupied right now, and he's also a cursed object, so in Sukuna's cursed energy, he could be the perfect vessel for Kenjaku to take right now. Now, how Kenjaku would take it, I have absolutely no idea, considering he's so far away from Yuji right now, unless it's specifically a binding vow or a technique that he may have placed on Yuji when Yuji was born to body hop spiritually or something crazy like that, or maybe the Jujutsu Kaisen will put his brain inside of Yuji's. Again, I don't think it's gonna happen, because, you know, Yuji isn't gonna die, he's the main character, and especially not in such a way like this, but maybe Yuji might indirectly help Kenjaku come back. Regardless, it's very possible that whatever Kenjaku's purpose is for Yuji, now that Yuji's no longer a vessel and now that he's actually has a free role, maybe that's actually going to be important for how Kenjaku is going to survive this. Again, incredibly unlikely, and I just don't see how it's going to happen unless it's something that we just don't know of and we can't even think of, right? It's something that only GEGE would know, but I only bring up this possibility because of the exact wording that Kenjaku uses, at least to the current translations that we have. Maybe when the scans and Viz actually come out, we'll see that he uses different wording, and that's more strongly implying that he's going to take someone's body rather than an inheritance, which does link to children and such. But yeah, this was just a phenomenal chapter all around. So if you did enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like, it helps out a ton. And of course, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe for a ton of consistent and quality JJK content just like this. A ton of crazy theory videos, spoiler videos, and chapters like this one, power scaling videos, analysis videos, because like I said in the beginning, less than 10% of people who actually watch my video are subscribed. So if you're a fan of JJK, if you love JJK, you want to see some JJK content, I would really recommend subscribing. You will not regret it. And of course, thank you to all the channel members as well. It is much appreciated. And of course, if you watch this far, remember the Higuruba fan club. Thank you very much. That's all from me. Have a great day and take care.